PriusChat. I'm Erica Garth-Spain from the Prius team, and we're thrilled to be here live from Las Vegas, where we've just revealed the 4th generation Prius to the world. I want to welcome you all and introduce our new baby. The 4th generation Prius features new styling, groundbreaking design, along with advanced technology, safety performance, improved MPG, yes, improved MPG, and of course, improved driving handling conditions. So we're really excited to introduce it to all of you. Can't wait for all of you to get in it and experience it for yourselves, get a good drive under your belt, and tell us what you think. So I'm going to give it over to John and let him explore the all-new Prius. This is our touring grade and hypersonic red, brand new color for Prius. Thanks, John.
Thank you. Hello, Prius chatters. How are you tonight, or this morning? I'm John B, and I will be giving you the walk around on the 2016 Prius for tonight. Basically, whatever we can see here, we'll go through and do a detailed analysis. If you have any questions on any design feature that you happen to see on camera, again, just post your question there. Danny will shout out the question to me, and I'll try to answer it as, to the best of my knowledge. So why don't we just go around to the front? So right now you can see within the front of the Prius, there is a much lower hood and a much lower bumper. Toyota says that they've designed this with a lower center of gravity. You can kind of see, just for a frame of reference, you can go back to your own car sitting in the garage or on the street, but you can see that the Toyota logo here is just about at knee height. It's quite low, actually, and Tony Schaefer earlier took a measurement of the ground clearance between the floor and the lowest part of the front bumper, and he measured that at 6.1 inches. Now that's not necessarily the ground clearance, as we don't know what the lowest point of the car is. Coming around here, you can see that there's sonar sensors built into the grille and into the bumpers. Those are probably for parking. We don't know what they are exactly. Toyota has not mentioned what the sensors are for. These are available on other vehicles such as the Sienna, where they're marketed as clearance sensors as you park and reverse into a spot. Again, there will be guidance inside the vehicle, and there will be beeps and alarms to tell you how close you are to the vehicle in front of you. You'll notice a much slimmer headlight design. It's a single projector lens. They look like LEDs. When we had them turned on, they're very, very bright, and we had the opportunity to flick on the high beams and low beams, and it looks like there'd be some sort of shade similar to the 2nd generation HID setup, where the high beams are simply basically the same lens with the shade removed to allow light to throw further down the road. You can kind of see the parking light that Danny zoomed into right now. There's the low and high beam LED. That looks kind of like a jewel design to the headlights around. There's the indicator, or turn signal. And as we go down to the bottom, looks like fog lights, and we don't know if these are bulbs or not, or whether they're going to be similar to the 2006 to 2009 Prius, where they're just kind of fake dots. Sorry? Okay. No. Why don't we come around to the side with the light? Oh.
Turn on the
headlights. The headlights. There we go. So now Tony's turned on the headlights here, and you can get an idea of how the lights look. High beam. High beam. High beam. Flash. And with the high beam on, down, and low beams. So you can see it looks like some sort of a shade.
Turn on the hazard.
There we go. So now we have the indicators on. And it looks like, yes, the fog lights are on. And they're the same color as the headlights, so potentially LEDs. And these are on too, look at that. The 3 lights, LEDs. We'll walk around to the side of the vehicle now. Now, Erica has mentioned that this is a, which model now?
Touring.
So this is the Touring. As you can see here, the tires are 215/45 R17 tire specs with 17-inch alloys. You'll notice a design change where we have the black, the spokes in black, and we have a silver painted inside portion of the rim. Now, if you look a little closely now, you'll see that they're plastic. So Toyota appears to incorporate some of the aerodynamic features that were on the 15-inch in Gen 3 and the Gen 2 and incorporate them into the 17-inch design as well to give you something a little bit more distinctive with the black and silver two-tone, as well as achieving the aerodynamics efficiencies that the designer needs. Coming up to the doors, 2 vortex generators are seen here ahead of the mirrors. They're the same ones that are found in the Camry, the Highlander, and any new current Toyota product. They're designed to create vortices along the side of the car, controlled vortices, so that the balance of air pressure on either side of the car is the same, and therefore increasing high-speed stability. Coming around to the mirrors.
Can I interrupt for
Of course.
a sec? This is unorthodox. Can I share your mic? Sorry. Live camera here.
Thank you for coming.
Kodama-san.
I appreciate you.
Chief designer.
Chief designer presenting
Special
our
prize.
Prius
Thank you.
experts
Thank
with
you
a
for coming.
special gift. You can open
Thank
them
you.
and show everybody on Periscope.
Thank you very much.
Tokens.
Thank you for coming today. Thank you. Thank you.
These are signed by the chief engineer, Toyoshima-san, the chief designer, Kodama-san, and the assistant chief, Shingo-san, for all 9 Prius experts. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. Sorry, not sorry.
Thank you.
One more here.
Thank you very much.
And ours.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Eric.
Continue to regularly schedule
Program.
John, they were asking which pieces exactly was it that came out? Was it the silver or the black?
It was the black.
You got it. That's silver.
Silver, sorry, silver. You can see
So are they 4 individual pieces?
5.
Or 5, sorry.
5 individual pieces to fill in the gaps. So you can see that the gaps in between the spokes are now smaller than they normally would.
You can't get it out.
You can try, but I don't want to pull too hard on it. How much time do we have
I'm
left?
not sure where the sweet spot is.
That's okay. We're
About 10 minutes.
okay. Now I'm sure you guys want to see what the inside is, so I'll get to the back later and let's jump inside. That's the one we haven't seen very much of. So given the Touring model, this is what looks to be a black or a very dark gray interior with white center console and blue stitching in the seats. I don't know how well it will show up. There it is. You can kind of see the blue stitching, which is a very nice touch. The steering wheel is quite hefty. Now, if I will get inside here, seating position on the new car is quite low, actually. What the designer, what appears to be right now, is a lower dashboard, a lower seat, and some of you had concerns about moving the peak of the roof forward to above the driver's seat, similar to the second generation. But because the seat's lower and the dashboard looks lower, there is actually quite a bit of headroom. There's about that much, I can see. And I'm at the bottom. The seat is right at its lowest position. I'm about 6 feet. And there's about, what's that, inch, 2, 3 inches of headroom. Now this one doesn't have a moonroof. There was a vehicle on the inside that had a moonroof, and it didn't take too much space, maybe about an inch. The steering wheel we can see here, unfortunately it does tilt and telescope, but it doesn't telescope as much as it did before. We can see on the left side there's a picture for brightness. I don't know if this is something to do with parking maybe. Stability control, traction control, and automatic high beam.
Let them know that they haven't given us a lot of that information. They're going to share it later.
On this one. Okay. Yes. So this is just speculation of what I can see on the icons here. Going down into the middle, we can see that we have a fairly large screen. Can really maybe a 7-inch. Let's see if Danny can get around here. We can turn on the lights. I don't know if that helps. They haven't given us any specifications, but perhaps you can guesstimate that it might be a 7, maybe a 6.5 inch screen across. You can see a JBL audio logo there. Automatic climate control, single zone. Shifters down here with drive mode, EV mode, and of course a park. Heated seats, unfortunately, I don't know if you can see or not. They're still located kind of low on the dashboard, and it's the same on the other side. We have a large open storage area in the middle with Qi charging. That's right, wireless charging. Adjustable front cup holders, and the 12 volt, which is a little difficult to see here. There it is. A 12 volt and USB and aux jack are now outside of the center console. Coming across to the dash here, there's a little swoosh, and there's a bit of a tray here actually. Now I don't know if you can store anything here because it does slope towards the passenger side door, but there is a bit of a tray. You can see my fingers here go behind the ornament. Glove box, looks like there's only one maybe, and it's a bit on the small side actually. Quite small, maybe just enough of the manual, and that's about it. Wow, that kind of sucks. Let's go to the center console, shall we? And look at that, it opens up like the Prius V. Open sideways towards the driver. We do get a tray, which is kind of nice, and it's a fairly deep box too. Of course, now that the 12 volt and the USB ports on the outside, you can keep other things in there without having to worry about cables and that sort of thing. And actually, if you come around to the back here, there's a nice surprise. There's a 12 volt charging port in the back seat now. So we can, backseat passengers can now charge their devices. Now, just before I go to the back, you can kind of see Toyota has improved the ability to fold down the seats. Previously, we have a little button at the top. It's really hard to push and operate with one hand. You can take a look now. You simply push the release here, and it just folds in one go. So that makes it a lot handier than the current third generation setup with the push button release, which is a little difficult to handle. Going around the back. So yes, for those of you that don't like the blackout C-pillar, it is here and present in the production or prototype vehicle that we have here. There's a bit of a piano black on the roof as well. They kind of seamlessly blend into a curved rear glass.
About 2 minutes, Joe.
Okay, thanks. Again, more of the aerodynamic features built into the taillights and into the rear bumper. You can kind of see the signature taillight. That's what Toyota wants to show off for this third generation. You can see the indicators at the top, the reverse in the middle, and LED brake lights at the bottom there. Some of you expressed concerns with potential cost for taillight replacement if a corner is hit. Just looking at the vehicle right now, it looks no different from a normal Prius, where if you hit the corner, the taillight will crack anyway. Let's pop the trunk. Have a look. The trunk's much lighter. Visually, it looks wider, but more interestingly, yes, as Danny's pointing out here, the trunk is actually lowered by about 2 inches, about that much. So it's no longer flush with the load floor, with the bumper. It's now actually inset. Now, as a result, when you fold the seat down, there is a bit of a hump, but not by much. See the tonneau cover is still here. Easy to pull, easy to lock in. And now a really nice touch that actually Tony Schaefer found out, there are built-in grocery hooks on both sides. It's nice that Toyota finally includes that. Again, it's a very light tailgate with LED license plate lights. And of course, the camera is there, as well as smart key, lock and unlock.
Wrap it up and tell them they can see everything else on PriusChat. Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, I hope I've answered most of your questions for tonight. Hope to see you guys on PriusChat, and of course, we'll be answering more questions tonight on the podcast, the What Drives Us podcast. So do tune in if you're able to stay awake. We would love to see you online.